Yeah, there we are. Hello, hello, hello.
Oh, okay.
Okay, let's see. Let's act like we're professionals and let's do an intro.
Okay.
The views and opinions expressed within the video content found on the Indie Comics Network are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of the Indie Comics Network or its sponsors.
What is up, lovelies? Welcome
Good
back
morning.
to Sketchy
Good morning,
Saturday.
everybody.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
We're a little bit
Hi.
understaffed today, but there's a couple of reasons. C is sadly back in the hospital. He flared up again yesterday. So our thoughts are with him and Nita. And hopefully he will be all right again very soon. Because we love them dearly and we don't want anything bad to be happening to them.
Yeah.
And Rodney is at the free comic book day today. So he won't be joining us either. I sent a link to Russ Leach as well, but who knows if he's awake or not, or even wants to hang out with us because, well, all the cool people are gone. So
Wait a minute. Aren't we cool?
Yeah, we are.
Yeah. I mean, well, Russ is busy either following the coronation or just having a beer at the pub.
if he's having a beer at the pub at 4 p.m. in the 3 p.m. Actually, no, for a UK person, that's perfectly fine. You're right. Entirely possible.
Yep.
But since we're so few people, how about we introduce ourselves? MarV, who are you and where can people find you?
Well, I'm a comic book creator from Portugal. I've been working with Resonance and Arrow Comics for the Team Killer that I don't have here any of those right now because I had some stuff to do and I forgot to prepare myself here. So yeah, I'm one of the guys here at the Comics Network on Saturdays, and yeah, today I don't know what I'm going to do, so it's going to be a little bit weird because I didn't have planned anything. So yeah, good to have you back. It's great to be back because last time I was in Spain and I wasn't able to join the show because everything in Spain is cheaper than Portugal, so gas and groceries. So yeah, today I'm here and yeah, hopefully we're gonna have fun today. So
Okay, sounds like fun. John, how about you? What are you working on today? Because
I'm working on a panel. It'll be a couple of panels of Bloodwing, aka Fire Fist.
yeah,
Fire Fist
real
Angel.
figure.
So yeah, you can. I'm here on Sketchy Saturdays, and I'm also well, I got a link tree now. I'm on. Yeah, I've got my link tree up, and you can find me there. And I guess we'll put it in the notes for that. And but I'm on YouTube channel here and at John Celestri Comics .square.site, and that's where all of my work is available. And it's a fun place to visit. So.
Well, I am Mike Jimmy DeBrad, creator of Lava Cora and CEO of Fairies and Ends. Today I'm back to translating Love on Cora Volume 1 because I have been slacking. There's a lot of things going on in my life at the moment, and I'm running behind very much. So I got to get on this. That being said, yeah, you can find everything about me on fairiesandends.com and all kinds of other things that, Linktree /fairies and ends. That's usually how we find it. Also, Hello, Efrain. Hope you're doing good, man. Welcome.
Hey,
So, how are you all doing? We are. It's Coronation Day in the UK. It's captured all of the material, the information, or the network here in the States. Everybody, everybody's got. They're looking at a unique element of society. But anyway, let's see. Mr. Celestri. Oh, I'm having a question. Mr. Celestri, you're animator. You are animator. How do I do to make a character look the same in different positions and angles?
Practice.
Yes.
yeah.
Well, consider it like you are looking at a. Have you ever worked with clay? If you can develop a design in clay, and this is an old animator's thing. They used to do this at Disney's, where they would actually make a character in clay or plastine, and have able to rotate it around and look at the different angles for how the construction is, and that's how you that's how a lot of times you look at things. If you look at your character in different as a shape and a construction, a design that's constructed with different shapes, you then learn how to rotate them in your mind. You just do your basic elements. For example, here, if you have a cylinder, okay, and then there's your top, there's your bottom, your sides. Okay, so you move this. If you want to move it forward towards camera, you have a perspective here.
Hold on, let me make you big for that one real quick.
If that's moving forward like that, then you could see how that. And then if you want to rotate it, or you want to put it on its side, like this. That's your basic, it is a hand and eye coordination, the ability to understand how perspective is, and then also how one shape goes in front of another. It's like if you have a character with with a lot of cheeks, well, if you want to have a profile of that, see how the cheeks would react and be in front of the nostrils and such. It is all practice, if that makes sense.
That's the
there you go. There's your 5-minute drawing. Perspective class.
Practice is a word that a lot of people are afraid of.
Yes.
When I say to someone you gotta practice, they just want to be able to do it in a couple of hours. So they just not get encouraged. And I've seen that many times when I talk to young artists or someone that want to make comics or whatever. I say practice every day for several years, and then you'll be able to draw something, well, or whatever. And they just get frustrated because they really have to practice a lot.
Yeah, it does. Here's the thing: practicing. I mean, if you enjoy drawing, then it's not a chore.
Yeah.
If you do not enjoy drawing, then it is a chore.
That's true.
And the biggest thing about any of this is that enjoy the process of drawing, because as you enjoy the process, you don't mind experimenting and looking at everything and just doing the work. And then it's not work, it's just an enjoyment.
Yeah.
No, he's exactly right. The point is to enjoy yourself. If you're not enjoying yourself, why are you doing it? Okay, if you're not enjoying yourself and you're not making any money.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah. And remember, doing art, which is what we are doing in some way, shape, or form, is supposed to be an enjoyable expression of yourself. If you're if you want to be a commercial artist, well, there should be something that aspect of it that you enjoy doing. So enjoy the process.
Exactly.
Good morning, Allison, and good morning, Vic. I haven't seen you before. Welcome. And these people are low-key sketchy. No. I am low-key littering, and these other two are definitely low-key sketchy.
Yes.
Yeah. So, for anyone who wants to make this make art their career, right? You're generally gonna find yourself doing 80% of the work that you don't like to do 20% of what you love. And that is a pretty good bargain. Because you're never going to be able to do everything you want in life. And if you can make those 20% count for yourself, you're generally going to have a pretty good life. Like, you're really going to enjoy what you're doing.
Yeah, there have been many times that I've worked on projects that I go, oh, why am I doing this? And so you have to find something appealing about it.
Exactly. Allison is low-key making Star Wars art because this is the May.
Mm-hmm.
It is indeed.
So, yeah, I've learned one thing is that if you can find something enjoyable about a portion of your job, then that helps, make the rest of it tolerable. And even if you're doing stuff that you don't enjoy doing, you're using muscles and you're exercising them, your creative muscles. And that is good for your overall ability, because then when you can do something and put a real good, strong, a lot of effort and energy and creativity into something you don't enjoy doing, that is what is called being a professional.
And I actually want to hit up this comment by Vic. If you want art as a career, it's going to be hard, but it will be rewarding. Not financially, but it's for the love. It is financially rewarding. The idea of a starving artist, does it exist? Like, it's nothing more than an idea. If you don't want to starve from your art, you just got to work on getting that fan base going. There is literally, like, yes, you have to build up your audience, like we all do. And yes, it's not easy getting in there because it feels like it's a very small and limited world. But when it really comes down to it, literally everything in your life that you look at has been designed by an artist. Literally everything.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, except for literally nature, right?
Yeah.
But anything human made has been sketched out, conceptualized, and turned into something real by people. And this means architecture. This means street plans. This means that frame that you have for this piece of art that you have hanging on your wall that you maybe just bought at Walmart for like $10 because there's like a million of them,
Mm-hmm.
Or your background of your PC screen, your literal PC screen has been conceptualized by someone. Art is everywhere. There is money in art. The thing is, most people do not value art like an artist does. And it doesn't mean that they don't value it financially. So anyone can appreciate art, but it is a personal thing. You enjoying something is a personal thing. That's fine. But if you're going into comics, or you're going into children's books, or you're going into magazines, or you're making commercials, you're making practical art. And practical art is always underappreciated. But it's also the most profitable out of all arts, because fine art is literally a pyramid scheme that is used by rich people to just avoid taxes. But anything practical, whether it's commercial work, it's working for an animation studio, it's you making your own comic and going to conventions and selling it, there's money there. And it's going to start with your first book. It's going to start with your first commission. It's going to start with whatever. And you're not going to get top dollar at first. Your top dollar career is coming from you having done the work before, and you standing on that previous work as a throne, pretty much, and that's constantly just going up because you're doing more of it, to the point where people know what they can expect from you. And as long as people know what they can expect from you, they're going to come back to you. I'm finally getting, just in the last couple of weeks, I've been getting commissions that are starting to get 3 zeros. And we're not gonna. I mean, there's 4 digits. Like that, we're not talking 5 or 6. Like I'm not that big. And these are multiple pieces all together, making a pretty decent price. And that's the thing too. Like, you don't have to get your money from one single place. If you're going to get everything from one spot, you might as well do a day job, because, well, someone else has to be sure to make sure you get paid, and not you. But if you're going to start a career in art, like, you got your Patreon, you got your Substack, you got your commissions, you run Sketchy Saturday, all that stuff. And eventually you're going to get the trust from the people that like what you do. And because you're out there, people know that they can like what you do. Good morning, Brown Dog. And yeah. All right.
Okay. Well, I did my job. I did my career about 50, let's say a good 25 years as an animator, and that's how I made my existence. And I had to pivot when computers took over.
Actually.
And so you take what you learned. I took what I learned in animation and carried on with other things, because you have to survive as an artist, as a person. Your creativity is really what saves you, from the bad times.
And you swallow your pride. You're not the greatest artist in the world. And
you talking about me?
No. As a whole, like, swallow your pride. Dare to do things that maybe are not in your ballpark. And there is a cat scratching. Shelby. And sometimes you're just doing things that you really hate, and that is that 80% again.
Yeah.
The commissions that I got are not things that I like doing. They're fan art pieces. I do weird alien creatures. I don't do fan art. But whatever, it's money. And I need it. And I know I can do it, so I might as well do it. I may grumble while doing it, but who cares? Like, it's the end result that matters. And you're not going to be the best artist in the world until other people call you the best artist in the world. Mm-hmm. And then you're only going to be the best artist in the world to them. That being said, I love John's stuff.
Oh.
Absolutely in love with it. It is absolutely what I love to see. This is my job, right? I aspire to this stuff. There's power in simplicity, and John knows it.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, no, yeah. And the same way that I'm extremely impressed with MarV's understanding of negative space, and C especially loves to say it, because it is incredibly skillful. Like, it takes a ton of skill to be able to do that.
Thank you.
See, Allison agreed. John's stuff is great. MarV's stuff is great too.
Yeah,
wait, if I'm on Sketchy Saturday, I will make more money? Damn it, I'm doing the wrong show. Ellie, do you want to join, actually? We're understaffed anyway, and if Nita wants to complain about it, it's her problem, not mine. And you are always a valuable extra opinion. So if you feel like hanging out, by all means. So let me just drop you the link. All right.
Let's see here. People will notice I am using both a mechanical pencil and a regular wood pencil.
Well, both have their functions. Like, both are great.
Yeah. Well, it really, the mechanical pencil gives me a lead that's really thin.
Yeah.
That I need. Problem is that sometimes if you get the lead, then you need to be able to get enough of it in there.
Shelby, I can't see my screen.
Every time I do traditional, I really want my tablet.
Oh, there's space for both. And I'm hearing an echo now.
Yeah, that happened for a second. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That was weird. There is nothing wrong with either.
Yeah, but I'm getting used to the digital because I'm fast.
Yeah.
And I don't have to erase and do everything. Well, right now I'm doing this, right? So it's too much on the left. So in digital, I just move it a little bit to the right, and that's it.
Yeah.
Here.
And that's the thing too, right?
You gotta be really
Like,
good at it.
it just makes it easier and cheaper because you pay, your money for your pen display or tablet or whatever you use once, and it's going to last you a couple of years, and it can really make its money back. But there is something to traditional. Like, you are creating an original piece that people potentially can buy. It's also something that that you can hold for yourself. And it has a feeling to it that digital just can't create, even in the creative process.
Yeah, I think for me, it's all about the tactile aspect of working. You don't get it, and also, you know what? If the fuse blows and the lights go out, as long as I have daylight, I can draw. I don't need I don't need zeros and ones to create what I'm doing. And the thing about it is that when you say you've done an original piece, there's only one of them. Whereas, if you've got you're in a computer on a screen, there is nothing there, actually.
Yes and no.
Yeah, you can always print
and
say and sign it as an original piece.
Yeah, like you can. I'm against those personally, because no, it is not the original piece. It can be the print one of one, and promise in good faith you will never print it again. But it's not just ones and zeros that are the original piece, because the effort is original. The effort is real. And digital art is no less effort than traditional art.
Oh, that's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is that the effort is there, but it is not all like you, unless you have a file that, or do something where it's only on that one screen and it can only be shown on your screen. Yeah. Then it's an original piece that can't be duplicated. Yes. You have to have something that is just there, and that is the tactile aspect. I mean, for example, when you're doing sand painting, that's it. You try and move that and you've destroyed it. And how do you how do you keep it? But that's that's the part of the aspect of enjoying the process, because Buddhists will work on a sand painting and then blow it away.
Yes, what you're talking about is a non-fungible token, and I know NFTs are having a horrible name, and I agree. But NFTs are not a new thing. An NFT is a piece of art.
Yeah.
Literally a painting from the 1700s that is only as valuable as what the person will give for it.
Yeah.
Like the value cannot be determined because it is the original. Hey. Hello. Good morning.
Oh, hi.
Morning.
Morning.
It's morning. Yes.
Yes, it is.
Hey.
Oh God. How's everybody doing?
Doing all right.
We're doing good.
Yeah, getting by.
I can respect that.
How about yourself? Still waking up?
Somewhat.
Just a bit.
A tad, yeah.
Feed me coffee.
Not paranoid.
Aww. Speaking
Yes,
of kitties.
I moved, so they're annoyed.
Oh,
Logically.
Yep. Let's see. There we go. I got that.
Okay, you're sharing the screen. I'm not gonna keep it.
Actually, I gotta figure out how to make it.
Ooh.
Oh, that
okay.
looks great.
Cool.
If you want to know, want to learn how to do your screen share like I do,
Are you using OBS?
yeah.
Okay.
OBS in their newest versions has a virtual camera.
Oh yeah. No, I do have OBS. I'm just logged in. I need a reset.
Oh no worries. Like
Yeah.
no problem at all. But yeah, I'm not gonna keep you up all the time.
Oh no.
We're tiny otherwise.
Yeah, no. No, I don't want to hog the spotlight. I have my Friday show for that.
Yeah, but your work is so amazing though.
Well,
You deserve a spotlight like that. Not to
Can you
mention,
show
like,
that double splash page, please? Page 12 and 13.
yeah,
What's
the
the one? I'm sorry?
other one, yeah.
Yeah, the double splash page.
Oh, that one?
Yeah.
That is beautiful stuff.
I just love, and the grays. Yeah, the grays and the white and the grays. It's something that I have to do with a new chapter because the first chapter is basically at night, and the second chapter will be during the day.
Mhm.
So I'm trying to balance and try to find that perfect grays for the daytime. So I think I found it. Thank you.
Was it when I do a lot of my backgrounds, I prefab out a lot of my backgrounds ahead of time just to like my
It
background
makes life easy.
a lot bigger than what they appear to be when I put them on screen.
Mhm.
And I reuse them. So
Yeah, no. Work smarter, not harder.
yeah. And also when I make them, I also make a lot of them with day and night in mind. So I have like a layer I can turn off and it becomes like, daytime.
Oh,
Fair enough.
Where is it? I'll dig one up.
And I have to find out how to do a double splash page on Clip Studio because I still don't know how to do it.
Double splash page in Clip Studio is super easy. All you do is if you have two pages next to each other, it can't be the like the inside cover pages. It has to be what was it? It has to be a two blank pages. You just right click on one and you choose where is it? Combine pages. It'll give a little menu that says, hey, do you want to do this? So you hit OK, and boom, you got a 2-page spread. There it is. Yep. 2-page spread.
All right.
Also, if you you can tell Clip Studio to do all your interior pages as 2-page spreads. And then just do them normally, except for when you want to actually have them as a 2-page spread, then you can just do the 2-page spread on them.
I try and avoid this as much as I can because as a publisher, this is hell to put in any page that is not the center page. Because Clip Studio will screw this up in print.
Oh, that's
and if Clip Studio doesn't screw it up, then your printer will.
Yeah.
You always have.
I don't
you always have the. Sorry.
It's pretty tough because of your bleed, right? the extra couple of millimeters that you have on all sides. While Clip Studio does crop that properly, if your printer doesn't keep the center, like the only one that is actually going to be properly centered is going to be your center page of the book.
If you're doing the center page, even, but if you're doing it as a staple, a saddle stick, if you're trying to do it as a perfect bound, you've got all kinds of problems there because of just the way the pages will be bound.
Yes.
But you always have the 3D modeling in Clip Studio, so you can always see how the book looks after printing, right?
Yep, you can do the 3D build of the book to take a look at it, but I mean, you have to make sure that you have all of your printer settings in there, and it's only so good.
Yeah, it's very specific, and it is never going to be exactly as you hope it will be.
Right.
Yeah.
Where is it? Okay.
Yeah, but that was a tool that was really needed, that I really needed, because it's a fantastic tool, and I feel sorry for not being able to get it sooner, because it really helps a lot, especially when it comes to building the page. And I can see now why Maximi was always saying, get Clip Studio, get Clip Studio.
Mm-hmm. It makes life easy because it's made for comics.
Yeah.
The thing that does bother me is that it doesn't have a CMYK working setting. That is the worst.
Clip Studio Paint doesn't?
Nope. It does not have a CMYK setting to work inside.
Mm-hmm.
Nope, it doesn't. It's annoying like that.
Yeah, that is the only thing. Otherwise, I'm happy with the program. Like, it makes my life so much easier.
Okay. I was on. Mine is like version 1.
Yeah, no, mine too. Don't worry.
Okay, and what I thought I was watching, because the colors and everything I've worked with, it all comes out. I mean, when I output it, I output it as a CMYK.
Yeah, and they're going to be close. Don't get me wrong.
And that's the thing. But no matter what you look at on your screen, it really depends on how bright your screen is and how you set your screen up, and it's like every printer has a different kind of coloring in their ink, and it really depends sometimes, what your issues are. So.
You're not wrong, but Photoshop, for example, allows you to work with the coloring with CMYK colors, and so all the colors that you draw with you color with are printer compatible.
Yes.
And RGB colors, red, green, blue, are not compatible because RGB adds light to create color, and CMYK removes it.
Yeah.
So when you export your pages to CMYK, Clip Studio is going to look for the color closest to what you have drawn in the CMYK spectrum. So it's always going to be slightly different.
Right.
And probably slightly darker because that's how ink works.
Right. Well, at the same time, you can then, if you are that specific, you can make your adjustments then in your color choices, going back and knowing, well, this color is not the same, so I can lighten it, or
yes,
make the adjustments in what you choose. And here's the thing: is that I use a very limited palette. And
the problem is for a lot of things, even with a limited palette, and especially with more painted styles or watercolor styles or whatever, you really have to keep in mind that what you're drawing, and like what I'm seeing here on the screen, right, for me, is pretty bright purple.
Yeah.
Comparatively, it is slightly darker in print. Of course, this makes sense. And I'm using my screen with the lowest brightness setting because I know I have to work for print. But even so, the color that I'm seeing on screen is going to be completely different because purple, like this, is non-native to CMYK.
Right.
And so it needs to combine red and blue in a way that makes it darker.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the aspect of understanding the technical bits of art, and which is I started choosing my colors. What I did was I took, when looking at the basic colors that were used, the limited palettes of the 1950s, and because then it was more of a combination of dots.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And with a limited palette of say 35 colors, I went and said, okay, well, I can work with this because I'm not being natural in what I'm doing. I'm being more expressionistic in the color schemes. Purple sidewalks, yellow bricks for tenements. The playing around with elements. Looking at old Jack Kirby and Simon and Kirby, crime fiction or romance novels, comic books, things of that sort. There's a lot of fun in that. So it's all different. Which is an interesting thing, Allison, that you're working with grays, right?
Yep.
Originally, when I did Bloodwing, I saw it as a web comic, but I did it. I envisioned it in gray tones, and that's how I did the first 50 some odd pages of it. And then when I said, okay, I'll do a printed comic, I saw, well, I'll have to do something. I'll have to, color it up a bit more. And so it really isn't, it's kind of like doing a colorization of a black and white film. And some things are more suited to black and white and gray than others.
Yep, I completely agree with that.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
This is when I say I do background pieces ahead of time.
Yeah, I know.
This is one of them.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
beautiful.
That's nighttime.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is not just throwing a gray screen on it. You're blocking out where light should be. All of that, so that you're spotting those pieces there.
Oh yeah, there's a huge.
It's as much work. It's as much work as there is to do putting the screen together as in doing the. Well, not quite as much, but you still have an enormous amount of light and understanding where all the textures, where the various light sources should be, so that you're you're making it feel good.
Yep.
Feel right.
This is like my light block in areas of where I started doing base stuff. These are all areas of selection of different light sources of what I want to highlight.
Right.
So I do all that first. And that's... But yeah, you can see like if I turn off certain sections.
Yeah, wonderful stuff.
Then on top of that, I got like, more gradient lights in different areas. This is literally like, I don't know, there's easily like another 50 layers of lights.
Yeah.
In this section. So.
And with all that work, you wish that when they flip the page, they would spend more time on it.
Yep. Yeah. Daylight. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is all just heavily broken down stuff. And like I used a few different cities to set this up. Like I photo backed a few things, and then I started to sketch over it to get a few ideas, and then I created out of that. So, as I believe there's some Hong Kong in this. There's some Chicago. There's lots of different places that.
There's a lot of you've got a montage of or collage of areas.
Yep. Yeah, so that's one way I do things, and I have to draw it all out and make it all work. So yeah.
But still,
yeah, it's fun. That's easily a few days of work.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I have it here.
You have a limit. How many variations on gray tones are you using for your work?
I have what's it? I have 9 different grays that I choose from for my basis. I do have an entire palette that's just grays, but I tend to stick with just these core 9 gradations of it.
Yeah.
It's just easier and doesn't. I don't want it to be too much. If that makes sense.
And that's a basic element of for animation, for example. I mean, they were gray tones. If the first animation was all gray, black and white and grays and whatnot. So your eye can only go in stages and being able to see differences. So you start learning how to silhouette something and just spot it with a certain number of grays. You don't need 9 grays in one piece.
Oh no. Yeah, no.
Yeah. But I'm just saying is that but the thing about it is that you are trying to get an impact with black and whites and blacks, and you're spotting blacks and whites, silhouettes, and then using the grays to help draw the eye to certain areas.
Exactly.
Yep. And that's just basic understanding of the tools that you're using with.
I also get it from doing a lot of photography. So,
yeah.
Photography, and I have shot several short films. So
nice.
Yeah.
Lighting is definitely, it's an art.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
It is.
Yeah. It really is.
and I worked for a TV station for a while, so
Mm-hmm.
and I did editing, so yeah, it's
Yeah, it's not like you're just throwing something in. I find it very confusing. There's so much work I find confusing, but it doesn't seem as though the artist has thought about, directing your eye.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's everyone needs to take a basis on narration, especially with comic panels, in order to kind of guide the eye.
Yeah.
And I will say one thing: if you're an American mangaka like I am, don't do it right to left, do left to right, because that's what we read over here.
Make it easier on yourself.
Yeah.
Don't be pretentious.
Yeah. Well, you talk about that. I did an experiment to see if my comic worked, left to right. So what I did was I just flipped it and looked to see and it still worked, because you have to direct the panels in a certain way, and also that it helps if your artwork is balanced.
Yes, that's one of the big keys to find out if your art's looking good, is to flip the art to see what it looks like the other way.
Yeah,
it's one of the things I love about working digitally with art is I can just hit a button and flip it. That's how I check my perspective.
Well, animators would do that, but just flip the drawing and have the light box there.
Oh, right,
and work on, then just go. Okay, this does not look right, and you draw on the other side.
Yep. Well, I have my light pad like right below me. I mean, I have all my desk of traditional stuff is currently covered.
Yes.
And there may be a cat. So,
yeah.
But I mean, I have my light box down below me that I pull up, because when I draw traditionally, I rough everything out on like crap paper, and then I light box it over onto the good paper.
When you say crap paper, that's how I look at most paper today, because most paper is not meant for drawing or writing. Most of it is meant for to be run through the scanner, run through the printer.
Oh yeah, you're absolutely correct there. I mean, I have my my good Bristol that I don't want to like just erase to hell. So the paper I'm working with is animation bond paper that is translucent to a certain point, and it's easier to be able to see underneath it. But it is, it's very, but it also has it's resilient to be able to buff it down a lot and work on and keep working on it. Well, that definitely makes sense.
But once again, this is the kind of paper for a ream, and I'm talking about 10 years ago, was maybe about $45 for a ream of paper, 500 sheets. I would say, let me just throw this. I'll just lift this up here, and you could see that even when I put it on without a light box, you could see it's coming out. It's coming through the image.
Oh, wow.
It makes it a lot easier to animate without a light box.
No, it makes perfect sense. Animation is something I've always found the whole creation of animation, everything's so fascinating. I mean, it's just great stuff. I've done a bit of animation, like with After Effects and some early like Flash animation, stuff like that, but I never really sat down and did it traditionally, aside from like flip books when I was a kid.
Well, yeah, that works. I mean, that's what we're doing. We're flipping images. You know.
Yeah.
And that's where you get a certain amount of punch in your drawing, and you're just doing the keys for the most part, and that's the important thing.
And then you have like an in-betweener, right? Who does the other stuff?
Well, it really depends on, if you're doing everything yourself.
If you're doing everything yourself, yeah.
Yeah, but also here's the thing, with animation, there are keys, and the only in-betweens are really drawings that soften and just move it very subtly.
Oh, okay.
So you have that, but if you are doing something that is eccentric, there's a lot of analysis that goes into each drawing. Usually you're doing a partial on everything, because you are delaying the movement. Only mechanical elements do pistons movement. Straight bump, 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 bump like that. But if you're doing that, well, you're doing a lot of different things. You're moving from this point. This moves. So if you're doing that, it's not a conk. It is. There's a delay in everything. There's a portion. So yeah, there's a subtlety that. Okay, every drawing is like a musical note, and you are treating each note. You're sliding it. You're working with the note. Either whether you're like, for example, with strings, the touch on your string and how you strike the chord it gives you different elements and different textures. It's the same. It's a note mechanically, but it's the human touch that changes it.
I like that a lot.
Yeah. So basically, that's what timing in animation has theory. There's music theory. There's movement theory, and it's how the animator treats each drawing that gives this difference between someone who's competent or an artist, and that's what makes the performance different on the screen. And that's what we're doing, as animators, creating performances. So, yeah.
I like that. That's awesome. That's it. Animation's always been. I've just always loved the whole aspect of creating animated stuff. So I really need to do more.
Well, I do. There's. I try to put the number of videos I put up early on my YouTube channel with all the basics of animation, and I used my Snuffy and Zoe characters, my kid material to help explain, squash and stretch, overlapping action.
That makes sense. That's awesome. It's fun just hanging out with other artists too. So
yeah, no, totally.
I've got a little butt showing here.
Little butt showing. I guess it's okay.
Oh,
there you go. Is it's a little bit showing there.
Ooh, lordy.
Yeah. Hey, listen. No, that's what Bloodwing Angel Fire Fist is all about. It's basically it is old school underground comics attitude.
Ooh, that's always fun.
Oh, yeah. I think 1960s underground. Bakshi. Oh, no. Rather, R. Crumb. Bakshi.
R. Crumb would probably be more than Bakshi, but yeah.
Yeah. R. Crumb. Gilbert Sheldon Gilbert, the fabulous furry freak brothers, all that kind of stuff. I mean, remember that's my age group.
Oh,
Well, there's nothing wrong with that.
No. Well, I think as independent artists, independent comic artists have that freedom to do it, but I don't see a lot of that.
No, they don't. I mean, most people are just trying to do kind of nowadays what they see, and like they want to do their Batman and etc.
Yeah.
Which there's nothing wrong with that. It's just
there's nothing wrong with it, but the thing about it is that we lose an opportunity to do something that's more than just a lower or an imitation of what you're getting in the major studios.
definitely agree with that.
You know, but then again, I don't know what the audiences are. You know, because we head shops were you know, of the 1960s are different from attitudes today.
That is for sure.
yeah.
Trying to get something open that I wanted to work on.
Well, speaking of animation, I might as well continue to pilot a little.
And one of the things that annoys me about sometimes working on my Mac is that it backs things up to the cloud and doesn't leave them on the computer. So I have to go and re-download the files I need to work with.
Oh,
that is awful.
It's very annoying. I need to basically go in and tell it to not do that.
how much material do you have that it has to be backed up and left?
Not a lot. It's kind of ridiculous the way it works sometimes.
I mean, I have it back. I work on a Mac also, but I don't do all the drawing that you do on it. Very less. I'm basically I'll use it for what is it? Clip Studio Paint, but to do basic coloring and lettering, and then outputting putting all this material together. I don't have the heavy duty files art wise that you do.
Basically a few years ago, God, it's almost 5 years ago now. I was working on a manga that I was going to put out, and I had well over 100 pages done, and I lost the entire thing.
Wow.
Except for about 20 pages.
How did that happen?
Clip Studio did something, and it killed my backup file and my main file.
Huh.
And because of that, I got super paranoid. I actually stopped drawing for like a few months. I just couldn't do it.
I get you.
Understandable.
Yeah. Wow.
And I went and I have everything set now to back up to 5 different locations.
Huh.
And it periodically checks the files for differences and then pulls them to other locations. So I have it like going to Dropbox. I have it like going to Google Drive. I have it going to iCloud.
Wow.
I have my NAS backup server that everything goes to as well. It's just, I'm hyper paranoid about backing up my files now because I've always I'll always get a backup, but I was never this level of backup stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, like everything I do gets backed up into my Google Drive as well, and it's on 3 different hard drives too. Because you're never sure. And last year when I replaced my PC, the hard drive that I worked on mainly was so close to dying that me copying Windows from one to the other to new drive nearly corrupted literally everything I had on there.
Ooh.
Yeah, that was scary.
Yeah.
I would say that's putting it mildly.
Yeah. So long live backups.
Okay, I gotta look on that.
Save, copy, drive.
That is not. Oh. That's what I wanted.
Let's see.
Okay. The other thing that I do is for my my Patreon manga that I'm doing, I have my Bible of designs for all the stuff in it. Where I go through and I share this stuff with my patrons that show my, like, you know, the process of how I got to the designs that I do,
Right.
that I use. Even down to my logo designs.
Oh.
That is all, like, as someone who can appreciate the artistic journey, that is something that'll, yeah, I'd be totally into. Like, I love seeing that kind of stuff. That's something that I'm putting into the Love and Coral volume as well, because of that exact reason. Like, how did I get here, you know?
And I got like the ship that I have that I created for it. I have like all the different views of it, because I need to reference that crap.
Well, and you know, model sheets are the most important thing, but you could also show how you got there. I mean, that's, you know, the process of drawing your characters and moving them around and get your perspective. You know, how tall are they in comparison to the others? You know, how do they work? That's all. I'm sure that's all. I mean, it's all for a part of pre-planning.
If I do this again with you guys, I'll set up the virtual, my virtual camera stuff, so I can have everything in OBS and open it there. Since it's usually just me, I don't worry about it.
Yes, Barrett, it is great stuff. Let me pull up Ali real quick. There we go. Yeah, there's some really awesome people working right now. Yes, Ali, you're always welcome.
I appreciate it.
You're in the network as well, so like feel free to hop on in if you feel like it.
No, you'll never get rid of me if you say that.
Dun, dun, dun. I don't see this as a bad thing.
Fair. All right. So yeah, this is my manga that I'm working on, my Prototype Zero manga. I'm just figuring to get some of this stuff up so I can see what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So are you doing this? I mean, the manga is purely for your Patreon group, or
I'll print it eventually. I'm actually in a weird spot where me doing say was it like a Kickstarter or something like that, I have to be very cautious of, because I'm technically disabled. I live off Social Security. I definitely do not live off my art. I don't make that much money. So I would love it, but I don't. Also, like me doing a monthly book, it's never going to happen. I don't have the energy for it. So if I do a Kickstarter, though, all that money counts as income.
Oh, okay.
It will mess me up with that, and I can't risk that.
No, that's something you really want to keep in check.
If I do as a Patreon, I don't have a ton of subscribers that even have to
worry taxes, right?
Yeah, I don't even have to declare it. I don't make enough money.
Right.
And it's fun for me. It gets my stuff out there, and I kind of go from there. I've done some work for some of the bigger studios out there. Very light work for them that I got to the point where I had to declare my income from one of the big two, and I still didn't get taxed on any of it because it wasn't enough money. So,
Yeah, no, you want to watch out, but if you don't have to, don't.
Like when we were talking about model sheets, the model sheet for my elite.
Hey, nice,
good, cool.
Then I have the Kestrel, my ship.
Nice.
And you get a better shot of it there.
Very cool.
And this is the first design I did of the character a few years ago. Like a more recent design. Kind of playing with different ideas of what the character looks like. And the evolution of my logo.
Sweet.
So, fun stuff from basically my design Bible.
Oh,
This is an ongoing, adventure, or have you got an actual beginning, middle, and end to it at this point?
I do have an ending in mind. It's a long way away, though.
Okay.
It's I plot all my stuff out as like a what's the best way to describe it? I actually use my other love is RPGs.
Okay.
And I actually build everything out like an RPG campaign.
Sweet.
That's how I literally design everything out. Like I have character sheets for all the characters and stuff.
Right.
That I built, and then I have my notebook, and I just make a few notes, and then I literally have my RPG campaign design docs that I use, and I plot everything out in it. It's just easier for me to visualize if I do it as an RPG.
Okay.
I completely get you. I actually did the same for Sage of Sunset before I started on Love on Korra.
Oh, cool. That is very cool. Let's see. But this is another situation where I have my background stuff. And again, these images are a lot bigger than they are here. Like these are just segments of things taken out, like little sections I took out. So
that's very cool.
And I will say that this city scene here, this top one, this is gigantic. This is a small section of it.
Huh. You like massive things.
Yeah.
To draw.
To draw, yes.
Saved yourself right there.
Yeah, there you go.
Quite Shelby.
But yes, I got the idea from Jim Lee, because when he was doing Batman, he drew all of his backgrounds out ahead of time, and then he'd just take sections of them and stick them in.
Oh yeah, no. Same.
So that's basically what I do, and I actually find drawing backgrounds to be very relaxing.
It is.
Not for me. Not for me.
And I will say the work that I've done for the big two has been filling in backgrounds for people when they couldn't keep up. So,
well, you see, that's a very useful talent and enjoyment to have.
Because here's the thing about
I
getting
may or may not
art.
have drawn some Gotham City in a few issues of Detective Comics.
So, and this is something that I try and teach other people as well, newer creators especially. Do the tedious jobs. Learn to enjoy them because you're going to get most money out of them because you get paid more to do shitty things.
That's true.
Like everybody wants to do character design. Everybody wants to do the pencils, etc., etc. If your job is literally going to be drawing speed lines all day, every day, you're going to get paid big buck. If you're going to be an artist on a game and you design all the little logos and all the little things that are tedious to most people, people will pay more because these people are harder to find. Everybody wants to create their characters, but the money is outside of the most fun thing.
Oh God, yeah. No, that's completely true. If you want any kind of money in this, you want to want to do the crap.
Yeah, I did portraits for a few years, and I really didn't like it, but money was good back in the day. But yeah, it was a sacrifice to get home after work and have to do those portraits, portrait of the mother, the father, and the kid, and yeah, I know how it feels. But that was where the money was.
Okay, so I actually haven't designed a lot of his look for this yet. All right.
So, Alison, when you were doing the backgrounds, were you doing digitally or traditionally? Did they have some kind of? Did you have some kind of obligation of doing only digitally or only?
I use a combination of things. I use a combination of things. I'm doing backgrounds. A lot of times, like if I'm doing something that I need to do quickly, I'll do it entirely digitally because I can work faster.
Yeah.
If I'm doing something just for like myself, I will work traditionally. Like if I'm just like trying to relax, I'll just draw city scenes, and I'll just sketch them.
On that one.
And I'll just have fun doing them, or like I'll just like draw like interiors of places.
Yeah, that takes a lot.
Yeah, like also, I cheat. I know how to build things in 3D too. So,
look, there is no such thing as cheating in art. There's working smarter.
Oh yeah, no, I just say it like that. I don't have any like.
Unless you say
I need
yeah, but cheating is such a bad word because it gives the naysayers and the purists.
Oh, they can.
It gives them an arm, right?
Yeah, they can go to hell as far as I'm concerned.
That too, but like they're tools.
Yeah,
because they're not making your life they're making your work easier. They're not making your life any easier. They're not making your craft any easier.
Oh no, yeah, no, I build gray boxes and things like that to get loose ideas so I can build a perspective quicker.
Yeah.
Because if I build it in 3D, I have a very good chance my perspective is going to be right because I can stick everything to the area and stuff. Exactly. And I don't have to map it, which I enjoy doing. I just, if I'm trying to do something quick, I'll gray box it and then I'll bring it in and I'll extract the lines out and then I'll draw everything over it.
Yeah.
So I can get it, just do a fast layout.
Because like personally, I love Clip Studio's perspective tools.
Yeah, I use those.
Yeah, like the rulers are great. Mm-hmm. If you know how to use them.
They're a pain in the ass, but yeah,
they are a pain in the ass. But the moment that you have that click, They're some of the best I've ever used in any digital program.
Oh yeah, no, I completely agree.
Yeah, like you got to get used to them, but at the moment you do, wow, they're good.
It's one of those things that it just suddenly clicks, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh yeah. Like my fantasy stuff that I do, I literally built in 3D the entire main city that I have my setting in. So I can go into an alleyway and pull it up.
That works. Yeah.
It is a very large Blender file.
I can imagine.
But during the pandemic, I basically taught myself Blender. Because it wasn't like I could go anywhere. Because if I got sick, I was dead. So
yeah. Yeah, Squeaky, you are Mao, indeed. I swear. Cats, you can't live with or without them.
Yeah, I know, and I have 2 of them.
I got one, and she's a handful.
I don't know where one is right now. I don't know where the other is, and that worries me.
Wreaking havoc.
Yeah, most likely. Actually, I have I think I have the window in the bathroom open. He's probably sitting in it.
Yeah, fair. We are slowly heading up to 1.5 hours, though. So how about we tell the people where they can find us and, see where they can get our books and stuff. So last through the door. Let's start with you, Ali.
Well, ladies first, as they say.
Exactly.
All right. Well, you can find me on the Indie Comics Network, and I'm on all the major social media stuff. I believe my link tree is down in the doobly-doo below us. If anybody wants to follow me there, you can also go to Patreon and subscribe to my manga, and I do an update a month on it. And you can read Prototype Zero. It's a fun comic. It has a henshin element to it, so kind of Power Ranger-esque, but I'm playing up the idea that these are child soldiers, and that's not a good thing.
I have questions. By all means, go read it.
So that's me. And I'm on Fridays, arting with the Alley Cat.
Yeah, go watch it.
Time.
John, how about you?
Well, you can find me here on Saturdays, Sketchy Saturdays. If you go to my website, johncelestricomics.square.site, you'll get all of the material that I have, all the various comic books I've created, and also some Boba Fett prints that you get from my animation poses back then. And as I said, I'm on YouTube, I'm on Facebook, and on Twitter, but I've also got my link tree somewhere here.
somewhere.
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
It's the doobly-doo downstairs.
Yeah, the thingamajig down below.
Yep.
That sounded wrong, too. Marv, how about you? Where can people find you? Oh, that looks great, man.
Yeah.
Thank you. Not as good as I wanted because I'm not on the mood right now because my hand's not perfectly, same. This week has been crazy, and we're gonna have a lot of work, more work than usual. So I'm gonna be hurting myself for a bit for the next few months. But okay, that's not the issue here. So yeah, you can find me on Sketchy Saturday. Every Saturday here with you guys. I'll be back with the Studcast as soon as I can. I had a couple of guests and can't wait to go back on that on my channel. You can find me on From My Comic. From My Comic with my book, The Sin Killer, Gabriel Reaper of Souls. I'm actually working on chapter number 2, Michael Hunter of Man. And if you want to find more stuff about the Sin Killer, you can also get in the first bundle in the campaign from my comic Revelation, and among the other Arrow Comics titles, and also at the website of Fairies and Ants, you can find Revelation 2 if you're in Europe. So So see you guys next week, and it was fun. Thank you so much for having me once more.
Awesome. Well, I am Mike Jamie de Bruin, creator of Live on Quora and CEO of Fairies and Ends. You can find me over on linktree/Fairies and Ends. You can find everything we publish, that whole rack over there and more, over on fairiesandends.com. And of course, here on Sketchy Saturday, every Saturday, 10 a.m. Eastern, and Hung on Animation every Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern, where I work on the animated pilot for Live on Quora, because I thought, you know what? If you want to go and be a masochist, you might as well go put it up a notch and go animating too. And it feels great. So, lovelies, it has been wonderful. Thank you all for hanging out. And Ali, welcome to the show. It's good to have you.
Yeah. Welcome.
Hey.
And we will see you all next week on another Sketchy Saturday.